The scent of the perfume river, usually a source of comfort, now carried the heavy weight of Hung's regrets. He was 16 when Lai arrived, a wisp of a girl with haunted eyes, plucked from the wreckage of the war. His parents, their faces etched with the lingering sorrow of Saigon's fall, brought her home, explaining that Lai's own parents, old friends, were gone. Their small house in Hue, already a tight fit, expanded to accommodate the quiet newcomer. As they grew, Lai blossomed. Her reserved nature gave way to a gentle grace, and her beauty, once subtle, became undeniable. Hung in the awkward throes of adolescence, found himself increasingly captivated. He'd catch glimpses of her hair shimmering in the sunlight, her laughter a soft melody, and a strange, unfamiliar ache would settle in his chest. One sweltering afternoon, his parents called them both. Their faces were kind, their words carefully chosen. "You're of age now," his mother began, "and Lai is family. We think it would be good for you to marry." Hung's heart hammered. This was it, the dream he hadn't dared to articulate. But then Lai, her voice barely a whisper, said no. The single word shattered his unspoken hopes. He couldn't comprehend it, couldn't fathom why she would refuse. A bitter anger festered, and he retreated, the distance between them growing with each passing day. Then came Hang. Lai introduced her, a whirlwind of energy and vibrant beauty. Hang was everything Lai wasn't: outgoing, loud, and undeniably captivating. Hung, still stung by Lai's rejection, found himself drawn to Hang's magnetic personality. Their shared laughter filled the house, pushing Lai further into the periphery. It was around this time that Lai announced she was leaving for France to study. Soon after, Hung, almost impulsively, asked Hang to marry him. She readily agreed. Lai left, a quiet farewell blurring into the distance. Years later, the humid Hue air clung to Hung as he waited at the airport. Lai, no longer a girl but a woman of refined elegance, emerged from the crowd. The years had etched new lines on her face, but her eyes, those same deep wells, still held a familiar intensity. As they drove, the city passing in a blur of motorbikes and vibrant markets, she learned of his life. Still married to Hang, 2 children, a bright-eyed boy and a curious little girl. His home, once filled with their youthful dreams, felt different now. Hang greeted Lai with a polite but cool smile. The children, sensing the underlying tension, clung to Hung's legs. After an awkward meal, Hung drove Lai to a hotel. As he helped her with her bags, a weariness settled over him, a clear sign of his unhappiness. "Why Lai?" he asked, the words tumbling out before he could stop them. "Why did you say no all those years ago?" Lai turned, her gaze steady, unwavering. "I loved you, Hung. I always did." His breath caught. "But your parents, they presented it like a decree, not a choice. I felt trapped. And when I brought Hang home, I never imagined you'd actually marry her. When you did, I couldn't bear to stay. I had to leave. I thought distance, time, would make me forget you, but I never could." The confession hung in the air, a fragile bridge across the years. That night, amidst the hushed luxury of the hotel room, their affair began, a desperate attempt to reclaim what was lost. The initial confessions in the hotel room had unleashed a torrent of unspoken longing. That first night, it wasn't just physical desire that drew them together, but a profound need for connection, a desperate grasping for the past that had been so cruelly snatched away. They talked for hours, whispering secrets in the dim light, tracing the paths their lives had taken, the missed chances, the unspoken regrets. Their touches were tentative at first, then bolder, rediscovering the topography of bodies that had once been so familiar, yet now held the weight of years and separate lives. Their affair settled into a clandestine rhythm, a stolen existence carved out of Hung's fractured life. They met whenever he could slip away, usually at the same discreet hotel. The rooms became their sanctuary, a world apart from the demands and disappointments of his marriage. Their nights together weren't always consumed by passion, though that was a powerful undercurrent. Often they simply were with each other. They would lie tangled in the sheets, Lai's head on his chest, listening to the thrum of the city outside, a stark contrast to the quiet intimacy within. They'd share simple meals ordered from room service, laughing at silly anecdotes, or falling into companionable silences that spoke volumes. Hùng would tell her about his children, his voice softening with paternal pride, and Lai would listen, a bittersweet pang in her heart. She, in turn, would recount her experiences in France, the vibrant life she'd built, yet confessing the hollowness that often accompanied it. He found himself drawn to the quiet moments. Lai reading a book while he watched her, the way her brow furrowed in concentration, the soft curve of her smile when she caught him looking. He loved the scent of her hair, the unique way she fit against him. For Lai, it was the rediscovery of a comfort she hadn't realized she so deeply missed. Hung's touch, his voice, his very presence, felt like coming home. They would talk about their childhoods, remembering forgotten games, shared meals, the simple joys of growing up in the same house. These conversations wove a tapestry of shared history that neither of their separate lives could replicate. There were nights of intense passion too, fueled by years of suppressed desire and the intoxicating thrill of their forbidden love. Their bodies, mature and experienced, explored each other with a newfound urgency, a desperate attempt to bridge the chasm of time and missed opportunities. Each touch, each kiss, felt both new and achingly familiar, a dance of rediscovery. In those moments, the world outside the hotel room faded, and only their intertwined selves existed. But even amidst their stolen bliss, a fragile tension hummed beneath the surface. Hùng carried the weight of his deceit, the guilt a dull ache that never truly subsided. Lai, too, knew the precariousness of their situation, the moral compromises they were making. Yet the pull of their long-buried love was too strong to resist, a desperate siren song that promised a happiness they both craved, even if it meant navigating the treacherous waters of infidelity. Each parting was tinged with a quiet sadness, a return to separate realities that felt increasingly unbearable. They were living in a fragile bubble, and deep down, they both knew it was destined to burst. Months later, the illusion shattered. Hằng, her face contorted with rage, burst into the hotel room, catching them entangled in their stolen moments. Her voice, usually soft, was a venomous hiss. She threatened exposure, ruin, her words cutting through the air like daggers before she stormed out. Hùng followed her home, the scent of her fury still lingering in the air. "Hằng," he pleaded, "neither of us is happy. Let's end this." Her eyes, cold and unforgiving, pierced him. "You never loved me, Hùng, only Lai. And now I'll make sure Lai pays for it. She'll never show her face in Hugh again." The words, sharp and deliberate, sliced through his already frayed composure. In a surge of uncontrollable, blinding fury, he pushed her, a desperate shove that sent her sprawling. His hands, acting on an instinct he didn't recognize, found her throat. He squeezed, the world narrowing to the sound of his own ragged breathing, until her struggles ceased, until she was still. Lee arrived minutes later, drawn by a premonition of dread. She found him kneeling over Hang's lifeless body, his hands still trembling. She collapsed beside him, pulling him into a desperate embrace as the wail of sirens pierced the night. The courtroom was a blur of faces, of hushed whispers and solemn pronouncements. Hùng, stoic and hollow, received his sentence, life. As he was led away, the weight of his actions crushing him, he saw Lai standing in the distance. Beside her, small and bewildered, were his two children, their innocent eyes fixed on him, a silent accusation in their gaze. The perfume river still flowed, but for Hùng, its song had been silenced forever. Thanks for tuning in. We poured our hearts into this story and would love to hear what you thought. Share your comments below. If you enjoyed it, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you next time.